So welcome to my initial impressions on the Heisen. I'm sure a lot of you guys got this ship for 5,000 doubloons, I believe was the minimum price if you did all the tasks for it, which is how much I paid for it. And I've been playing the ship over the weekend. I got it on Saturday, I think, Friday or Saturday. And this ship is quite good for a Tier 9 premium that you can get for relatively cheap, around the price of like a Tier 6 ship. This is a pretty solid ship. It's nothing game-breaking, that's for sure. Azumo is probably still better than this ship. The ship has a number of weaknesses that the Azumo doesn't have, one of which includes only getting a 4 heals maximum, as well as only having 32 millimeters of armor everywhere, whereas Azumo's deck armor is 57 actually. So that is a pretty large difference. This ship also has a larger superstructure, easier to farm for smaller caliber guns, and of course this ship has a worse reload and worse accuracy. Well, Sigma, which relates to accuracy. So to play this ship, you generally want to play a little bit passively. Your goal is to not overextend, because you do only have the 4 heals and your armor is pretty mediocre. You're not particularly fast or that maneuverable, so you really gotta just take your shots when they come. Like this Mogador, for example. This is a live game, by the way, guys, so I am playing this as I'm talking with you. I thought that'd be an interesting way to give my first impressions on the ship. The one really nice thing about this thing is your turret angles forward and backwards are really, really, really nice. So to get all of your guns off, you're almost at auto bounce angles. It's really, really, really close, which is really, really, really handy to have, because your armor isn't great against HE. It's nice to be a little bit tanky to armor-piercing shells. The Seattle appears to have made a mistake, looking to punish him. Of course, with a 12 guns with a long-ish reload, you want to be looking for opportunity shots. The goal with this ship, of course, is to get broadsides. Since you're not overmatching anything crazy, you just have the standard 28 millimeters of overmatch, I believe, so nothing too incredible. But for a Tier 9, it's got pretty solid alpha damage and overmatch capabilities. You're essentially a squishier Montana at Tier 9 with worse accuracy and worse range. But there are worse things to be than a toned down Montana at Tier 9. I do think this ship is one of the better Tier 9 battleships. I would certainly play this over as we steal that kill there real quick. I would probably play this over a Lion. I really didn't like the Lion. The poor turret angles and spamming HE I just really didn't like. That ship's probably stronger in the meta for sniping with HE, but I just really, really didn't like it. I might play this over Azumo. I have a thing for 12 gun battleships. I really, really, really do enjoy them. This ship, while not being amazing in the dispersion department, you do get Deadeye, and Deadeye can do some pretty crazy things, giving some really traditionally bad battleships actually very, very, very solid dispersion. One thing I want to talk about real quick in terms of the turret angles, you'll see that this rear turret here, it actually gets blocked by the secondary turret here. It actually gets blocked there. So if you're within, say, I think it's 6.6 kilometers. So notice that the all the guns are lit up like they could shoot. And then as we get closer and closer and closer, there. You see how this one went dark? That means it won't be able to fire at its current position. Even though at longer ranges at the same angle, it can still fire. So something to be aware of at close quarters. You're definitely not going to be getting all of your guns off at people. You shouldn't be, at least. That would be a very quick way to get citadeled. Because this thing does have turtleback, but it's not amazing turtleback. But that's something to be aware of. This turret you're probably not going to use in close quarter situations. You can definitely use it at longer ranges, though. And look at how good this ship is. We're holding down a flank here. They're kind of not wanting to push into us. We got a decent crossfire here. In fact, this game looks like it's almost over already. The steamroll is on because we're winning up here really strongly, and we have now these guys caught in a crossfire. So, yeah, good luck to the enemy team to get out of this one. It seems like this is kind of the way of World of Warships these days. Steamrolls everywhere. Close games are more and more rare because ships like to camp the back of the map more. And with battleships and cruisers camping the back of the map, they're not supporting their destroyers as much. So whoever wins that initial DD engagement is probably going to win the game. At least that's what I've found recently. Is this guy really going to just sit here? Let's see. He's going to stop and go forward. We'll send that out right there. And then lock on to somebody else. That way, if he has priority target, or whatever it's called, it will not show that I'm looking at him, even though I shot him. Unfortunately, he didn't push up. He just kind of stopped because he went dark. Smart play. But you see how I'm trying to keep these guys just outside of my Deadeye range? You don't want to be too far away from the fight, obviously, but keeping people outside of your concealment range is really, really important for activating things like Deadeye, which do make this ship somewhat accurate. It's not a Yamato or something like that, but it can get some pretty decent accuracy. You can see there we hit quite a few shells. I just aimed it a little bit too far in front of him. If we had hit his superstructure, that would have been some pretty nasty damage. Neptune. That'd be good. So that's how you want to play this ship. You don't want to push in, you don't want to overextend. The reason I'm here, bow in, is because these guys are kiting and their DDs obviously aren't around. What is this guy doing? Yeah, I mean, what did you think would happen? Crazy. Anyways, I should talk about this ship's HE, because it is actually very, very strong HE. So, we'll shoot our salvo of AP and then move on. So, the alpha is actually pretty solid at 6,500. That's quite a lot. The balancing factor, of course, is that it has poor dispersion, a long reload, and a poor fire chance. So it's not like you're a Thunder or a Conqueror down at tier 9. But if you get the right form of Deadeye, it's pretty disgusting the amount of HE damage you can do. I've seen over 10,000 HE damage on battleships from a single salvo, and then a fire or two here and there. So you're not useless when people are bow on. That's for sure. There we got not too many hits and no fire, but at least you have the option of switching to something like HE that makes it pretty good. Now this Iowa is looking to turn broadside, maybe. He is doing it. That's so sad. I wish I would have had AP now. I don't have expert loader on this captain, which I probably should. But we've swapped to HE now. We committed to it. You can see the dispersion gets quite a bit worse without Deadeye. I'm pushing here because I do want to support my Alaska friend who is pushing with me. Okay. Yeah, looks like we got to turn around then. That's really bad. We have to kill this Iowa now. And he's going to go bow in, so spamming HE is actually the right play here. 6k and a fire. I think he damage con, so we should be alright here. This is okay, as long as we're angled. Should be a little more angled than this, actually. Because we can be. Look at those turret angles backwards. How nice is that? And this Iowa should die. Nice. See those bounces? Very good. Yeah, maybe not. Oh, too bad. It is only Pomerans at long range. This could be a lot worse. So if you're facing something like Yamato or Musashi, that's where things get really scary because you're definitely going to get overmatched and killed very quickly. So he's accepting that he's dead. Probably switch to AP for these Pomerans, actually. Oh, that's so unlucky. 4 shell hits. Yeah, 4 shell hits from a 12-gun battleship at these ranges is really bad. I don't think I need to tell you that. So I've been getting games like this where the ship is only good outside of its standard detection range. I haven't had really any good games where I've been pushed up brawling. So you're definitely going to want to snipe only with this ship. Now we can hang on to AP here because we know Pomerans take massive hits from AP to the superstructure. So we're totally justified in using our AP. 100k already. It's a good ship. It really is. We don't want to get too close because obviously IFHE secondaries can kill us pretty quickly. Oh, he's going to get greedy for his back gun. See, this is the problem with the Pommern. You have to go so broadside to get those back guns off. Get another 10k chunk. And you see we're bouncing most of his stuff. That's the really nice thing here is look at those turret angles, man. Oh, it's so good. Even though you have poor armor and not very many heals, you can tank a little bit in as long as you're careful. So we should kill this guy here. Just aiming for the superstructure, to be totally honest with you. Yep, very good. Let's use our next heal. So now the problem is this guy will get into torpedo range, so I'm actually going to turn out from him. I don't like to just use the border, so I'll stay off the border as much as I possibly can. But this guy, I mean, that's the way he wins, right, is he torps me. In fact, he shot, which means that we should be able to turn out for free, actually. He wins with torps, so we don't want to allow him those. 5100 is not great. Let's try and... Yeah, see, that's why I don't like being on the border. It feels like I'm just cheesing the enemy. You see how he just didn't hit me, even though I was flat broadside to him? Yeah. Not a huge fan of that. Oh, I aimed that poorly. Still 6k. I'm going to call for help from our team. Maybe they will help me. See, I'm going to try and get off the border as quick as I can. Those should range, actually. Yeah. Wonder if I can bait him into committing to the torps. He's going to go for him now, right? Yeah, so we're going to pretend like we're turning all the way this way to dodge the island. And then now that he's probably launched them, we're going to slow down and turn out and actually ground. And that means we should live. Angled. Everything is fine. This is the last guy alive, so we're going to win this game. There it is. See? What'd I say about the torps? What'd I say? This is a decent ship. It's not amazing in a brawl. If you keep it angled, it can tank. You're not tanking HE. You're tanking AP angled. HE, you're never going to deal with that well. So we were second on our team. Not bad with 3 kills. I actually like this ship, but I do like 12-gun battleships. I just enjoy them more than the 8 or 6-gun kind of variants, even the 9-gun ones. It's a pretty decent ship, honestly. I think if you got it for 5,000 doubloons, you should be very happy with your use of doubloons, because there's not many tier 6 premiums that would be better than this ship at its tier. I would say probably Warspite is the only tier 6 premium that would be like, okay, that's a really strong ship for its tier. I am using just a standard battleship build on this. Honestly, I probably would switch it to have Gunfeeder. I think Gunfeeder would be a very nice thing for it over Emergency Repair Specialist, but this guy's from my Yamato. You don't switch to HE in a Yamato because you overmatch everything. So that's what the build looks like for now. The big problem, obviously, is that you only have 4 heals, even with the Superintendent upgrade. And I'm using reload and accuracy and tankiness, concealment. Pretty standard stuff, honestly, for a battleship. But it's a decent ship. In fact, let's just take a look quickly what I'm averaging in it. I haven't actually checked this yet. So a typical tier 9 should be in that like 110k range, I would probably say. We need to display by tier. And scroll up for our Heisen. 9 games, 89% win rate. We're averaging 125. Yeah, it's a good ship, honestly. For some perspective, Wujing is averaging similar. Minnesota, I only have 1 game. I did really poorly in it. So let's just ignore that one. Baji is only 114. John Bar at 145. That makes sense. I mean, you could just shoot HE and do well on that thing. Lion. I didn't like this ship very much. 112. I haven't played it since 2 years or 3 years ago, so those stats are old. Musashi's in that 143 range, so it's obviously not a Musashi, right? But you're never going to have a tier 9, balanced tier 9 ship, which I think this is a balanced tier 9 ship, compete with a tier 10 ship brought down to tier 9. Because this is just a tier 10 at tier 9. I don't know why they made it, but especially with Deadeye now, this thing's pretty disgusting. But for 5,000 doubloons, I think you can be very happy with getting a Heisen. I think this is a great ship, a great alternative to the Izumo as a tech tree ship. So that's my thoughts on the Heisen so far. They might change in the future, but yeah, I appreciate you guys watching, and I hope you have a great day.